next up is Dave Waltman of BCCthis. Dave, BCCthis lets you add subtext to email through personalized private messages to selected recipients.
Hi there. My name is Dave Waltman. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of BCCthis, and we're creating a new form of annotated communication by adding subtext to email. So email can be a bit challenging, and anybody that's ever sat through a day-long email war, either participated or just had to sit through the back and forth, can see that miscommunication happens day in, day out. And the reason it happens is we tend to read emails based on our current state of mind, our mood at any given time. So maybe your boss just yelled at you, maybe your wife did. Whatever the case is, you're reading that email, perhaps not in the tone that it was intended to. But the funny thing is, 9 out of 10 people will think they've got that tone each and every time. So they think they're getting it right. Anybody want to take a guess at what the actual number of times we get the intended tone correct? 5 out of 10?
20%.
It's 50%. 50%. Half the time we fail at the most basic function that we do day to day. It's amazing we get anything done at all. So, how do we address this? Well, let's take a typical standard email. It might be a little bit difficult to read, but say I'm sending an email to a new hire. Michael, really happy that you've decided to join us. Please bring the paperwork on Tuesday, and really look forward to getting started. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to BCC my HR manager, because I really value company culture, and I know Brian feels the same way as I do. So what I want to make sure is that Brian is on track to meet him right there and get him started on Tuesday so we can hit the ball running. Well, Brian's got a heavy workload that day, and his interpretation of my email is, you know what, I'll just get it done Friday. Okay, so this little exchange is going to take up 30 minutes, an hour. I don't know how long. He's going to be angry. I'm going to be angry. And all of this could have been avoided had you used BCCthis. And what BCCthis does is it adds an additional layer of context that you can send out to anyone in the email. It can be on the to, the CC, or the BCC. But I can simply select one person, 2, 3, Brian, and say, hey, Brian, as HR manager, I really want you to be there for Michael from day one, so you can really we can put our best foot forward. And what happens is Brian sees a little, what's effectively a sticky note for his email. There's no plugin necessary for him to view it. He simply sees specifically what I'd like him to do, and while he might not like it, there's no miscommunication. Okay, so we launched about 3 months ago, and it's really easy for users to get started. They come to the site, BCCthis.com. There's nothing to sign up. They download the particular application or plugin for their platform. We do provide a couple of incentives to get them up and running, and voila, they're sending better emails. What we've seen is there's a large number of companies are now focusing on email productivity and making it better. It's been the same for 40 years. Most of these companies, if you look at companies like Gist or Zobni, all doing great things, but they focus on contact management, and very few are focusing on the source, or how to send better email versus how do we clean up the mess that we've already created. So we started with a flagship product, which was BCCthis for Outlook, a plugin. And then that was about 3.5 months ago. We then added a BlackBerry application. We added support for Gmail as well through a Firefox add-on. And we actually also have a Twitter client, which implies some of the same BCCthis concepts. The press so far has been good in the short time that we've been out. I like simple but brilliant, and particularly, I'll paraphrase. I like Lifehacker. They've mentioned that we're good for putting postscript "I love you" notes to your significant other, or for creating mutinies. So if there are any pirates in the audience or lovers, BCCthis is for you. Monetization. So our focus right now, these are free applications right now, and we're really focusing in on the viral aspect of the product. If you see everyone who gets a BCCthis message, we're promoting our own product right now. So we're seeing a nice 20% viral conversion rate on sort of the active senders that are out there. So we're really happy with that. It's a global product, and the idea is we'll likely introduce, whether it's premium versions of the product or really leverage the real estate that we do have. Finally, we really feel like we're just scratching the surface with annotated communication. We just introduced last Friday something that we borrowed from social media, which are likes and dislikes for email. But what's interesting is we've taken what gets a lot of flack for being too much out in the open, and we've brought that into email where you can basically like or dislike all you want, and I'm done. Thank you very much.
What's the alternative to this? Is it just to forward the email to your HR manager and say, hey, this is coming up, et cetera?
Yeah, the alternative is ongoing miscommunication, which happens. Or, yeah, you can forward something if you remember. You pick up the phone. One of the things that we have seen is it is often used in HR situations where if you're BCC'd, typically you don't have any context as to why that's happening. So on the one hand, there's a sort of like frivolous aspect of, hey, you know, I can joke around with my colleagues. On the other, there's that sensitive communication that has to happen. But there is an alternative, and that's basically, let me remember to go into my sent folder or call you. But again, 9 times out of 10, I think you get what I mean.
So really what you're saying, though, is that the problem you're solving is that point in time of remembering to have to deal with whatever issue is in the BCC versus a forward or calling them later,
I think so.
et cetera.
It's definitely changing behavior, which is challenging.
Okay.
But we seem to be doing okay.
I think this is really cool. I'd love to use it. Unfortunately, I use Entourage, so wondering when you have the Mac version coming out.
Which is why we started with the Gmail support, but soon. We're a very small, scrappy 3-person team.
So I think my biggest question is sort of what does a roadmap for the company look like? What is upside for you guys? What are you trying to accomplish with this? What's kind of the grand vision? It seems like you've done an amazing job with the execution of a simple product that people will use, that's viral, that will scale. But you know, step back. What is the big idea here?
The big picture. It's a good question. We've had discussions with everyone from sort of kind of key collaboration companies and platforms and integrating vertically into these channels. We're a small company, and my goal is to really turn this into a bit of a standard. We've done a bit of work on the sort of patent processing side, so you know, ideally I'd like to see this sort of used throughout email, whether it's mobile, web, desktop, and grow the company that way.
Dave, the 20% conversion I think you mentioned is very impressive. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's based off of, and again, we're still a very early stage company, so it's not like, you know, we're doing, and I'll be sort of fairly open here, we're doing about 1,500 downloads a day, and that number itself is also growing. So as we sort of get the word out, this is based on, we also do we do some back-end analytics. We don't take any personally identifiable information, but we do see of the people who are actively sending BCCthis messages, basically those are our BCCthis senders, we see a 20%. So for every 20 of those, we get another download.
Which platform are you seeing the most engagement on?
I'm sorry?
Which platform are you seeing the most engagement on?
Outlook.
Okay, one more question.
Okay. How much are you going to charge for this ultimately, either from your channel partners or directly to the consumer?
I don't really have an answer to that right now. I think that I can tell you that the model that we're looking at right now, it's free in beta, and it will be, but we do foresee a point where we could limit the number of after you've sent 100 BCCthis messages, we would put a price. Again, that price tag may be different for the mobile application than it is for the desktop application. So really what's important for us is the key metrics that we get from sort of the users that we do have right now.
And by the way, it's great that you're not charging right now.
Yeah.
Didn't wanna
I
imply
think we would
something.
kill it if we did.
Yeah.
Great. Well, give a hand to BCC this.
Thank you.